Think about it. You get invited, but only when someone else cancels. You're part of the group, but never the one they call first. You laugh with them, but somehow when plans are made, you hear about them later. And the worst part? Nobody ever says it out loud. There's no rejection, no conflict, no drama. Just a quiet feeling that you're always second. The secondary friend. And today, we're breaking down the psychology behind why this happens and, more importantly, how to stop it. Because this isn't about luck, it's about invisible patterns. Imagine this. There's a group chat. Messages are flying. Plans are forming. You're there, reacting, agreeing, adding jokes. But somehow, the real decisions happen between two other people. They text privately. They meet earlier. They share things you don't know. You're not excluded, but you're not central either. You exist in the circle, but not in the core. And psychologists call this a peripheral relationship. It's when someone is socially connected, but emotionally replaceable. But here's the strange part. Secondary friends are often the nicest people in the group. They're supportive. They listen. They don't create conflict. They're easygoing. So why aren't they chosen first? The answer is counterintuitive, because being easy doesn't create emotional priority. Let me explain. Human relationships aren't built on fairness, they're built on emotional intensity. Think about your own closest friend. There's probably history, inside jokes, arguments you survived, secrets you shared. That bond didn't form because it was smooth, it formed because it was meaningful. Secondary friends often avoid friction. They don't disagree. They don't demand attention. They don't express needs. So the relationship stays shallow, not weak, just thin. Imagine friendships like threads. Some are thick ropes, built from time and emotion. Others are thin strings, polite, friendly, but fragile. Secondary friends often become the thin string. Still there, but never the one holding everything together. And here's where it gets deeper. There's something called the availability paradox. The more available you are, the less people feel they might lose you. And when people don't fear losing you, they stop prioritizing you. It's subconscious. Nobody is thinking, I won't choose them. Instead, they think, they'll understand. They're chill. They won't mind. So they choose someone else first. Not because they like you less, but because they assume you'll always be there. Ironically, loyalty without boundaries creates invisibility. Now, picture this scenario. 3 friends want to hang out. One is busy, one is unpredictable, one is always free. Who do they try to impress? The busy one. Who do they chase? The unpredictable one. Who do they assume will come anyway? The always free one. And just like that, the always free person becomes the secondary friend. But that's only one layer. There's another psychological factor, emotional vulnerability. Primary friendships usually involve risk. You share something personal. You open up. You show insecurity. That creates emotional depth. Secondary friends often stay safe. They stay funny. They stay agreeable. They avoid revealing too much. So people enjoy them, but don't bond deeply with them. It's like watching a movie versus living inside it. Both are entertaining, but only one creates real attachment. Now, think about this question. Are you the one who always adapts? You change your schedule. You go where others want. You accept last-minute plans. You rarely say no. It feels like you're being a good friend, but psychologically, you're signaling something else. You're signaling that your time has lower value. And people respond to that unconsciously, not maliciously, just instinctively. Because humans prioritize what feels scarce. Scarce time, scarce attention, scarce availability. When you're always flexible, you stop feeling scarce. And scarcity creates importance. Here's another pattern. Secondary friends often play the support role. They're the listener, the advice giver, the peacemaker. But they rarely become the emotional focus. Think about movies. The side character is helpful, loyal, funny. But the story isn't about them. In many friend groups, one person becomes the main character.
Others orbit around them. Secondary friends unconsciously accept that role. They support instead of shaping the dynamic. And once roles form, they stick. Because humans love consistency. If you've always been the backup, people assume you're comfortable there. But here's the truth. You don't become the secondary friend overnight. It's built through small patterns. Saying, "I'm fine" when you're not. Accepting last-minute invitations. Never initiating plans. Avoiding deeper conversations. Being agreeable to everything. Individually, harmless. Together, they define your position. Now, here's the twist. Some people become secondary friends not because of behavior, but because of fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being too much. So they shrink themselves. They speak less. They demand less. They expect less. And people respond accordingly. Because relationships mirror expectations. If you expect to be second, you behave like second, and people treat you like second. But here's the most important part. Being the secondary friend is not permanent, because it's not a personality trait, it's a dynamic, and dynamics can change. The shift begins with one simple thing: initiation. Primary friends initiate. They make plans. They create moments. When you initiate, you move from passive to active. Another shift is selective availability. Instead of always being free, you choose when you're free. You create boundaries. You value your time. Suddenly, your presence becomes intentional. And then comes vulnerability. Share something real, not just jokes, not just surface talk. Depth creates emotional gravity, and gravity pulls people closer. But here's the final twist. Sometimes you're not actually the secondary friend. You're just in the wrong circle. Because in another group, you might be the center, the priority, the first call. Friendship isn't just about effort, it's about fit. And when the fit is right, you don't have to fight for relevance. You just exist and you matter. So the next time you feel like the backup, ask yourself this: am I being treated as secondary, or am I behaving as secondary? Because the difference changes everything. And once you see the pattern, you can rewrite it. You can stop being the person who waits for invites and become the one people don't want to miss. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. You're not anyone's second choice until you quietly accept that role. And the moment you stop accepting it, the entire dynamic begins to shift.